This will be a mod guide for the Nerf Stryfe. Okay, so the first step to modifying the Stryfe is obviously to unscrew the main body of the blaster itself, taking care to take off the access door on the other side as well as the battery, because I will be doing some circuit work. Basically, my plan is to remove the electrical and physical locks inside of the blaster so that it can perform more smoothly and have better overall range and performance. So I'm going to pry the shell open right here to show you the internals of the blaster. Pause here, I guess, if you want to see quick, reference. So here are the main functions. Right here you have your rubbing handle, your trigger, which obviously still has the locks on it. Clip release is located right here. On the other side you have your motors, and what I actually found interesting, what I forgot to mention in my review, is that they actually rifled the little tiny stub of like 1.5 inches of barrel between the motors and the actual part where the darts exit the blaster, which I just thought was pretty funny because it wouldn't really do anything. So getting on to actual mods that I want to do, I'm going to be removing the physical locks. First one being this piece right here. This is the really annoying piece that jams up the blaster all the time when you try to shoot the blaster and the dart doesn't set that off. It won't let you pull the trigger all the way, so that's a big nuisance in my opinion. Make sure you keep track of your screws in like a little bin like this, or a cup works as well. So I'm going to loosen the one right here next, as well as the trigger screw to get to my next lock. Then moving the trigger will allow me to get to right here, which is the clip lock, electronic clip lock, as well as I believe there is a mechanical lock under here as well. So by removing this plate, we'll reveal this mechanism, which is obviously not essential to the blaster. So we'll get rid of that. And the electronic lock, which I will get to later. I think that pretty much sums it up for the electronic locks. There's one more physical lock back here in the handle. So I'll be removing this plate. Then, if you see, this is the one where you cannot pull the trigger unless the blaster is in the on position, which could be harmful if you're trying to clear a jam. So basically, we're going to just rip that piece off, and I want to keep that switch in there, not because that's what activates the blaster. So I am going to get my wire cutters now and make a few cuts. So let me take out the rest of the electronic pieces. Okay, now that all of the mechanical type things are removed out of the way, I have my circuits, which I already popped out the switches for. And basically how it works is the positive from the battery terminals, which I'll be keeping the stock ones at least for now, because I plan to get some ultrafiers to use with this blaster. So basically we'll go through the whole circuit. The positive lead goes to the first switch right here, which is the rev trigger, which is one I will be keeping. Which then off of there, it goes to the clip lock. So I will be cutting the wire right here. From the clip lock, it then goes to the jam door lock, which is also attached back here, which is the negative lead. This has I believe it's called a thermo resistor, where basically if the circuit overheats from too much use, it will shut down the whole circuit. So I'm going to cut that back there. So basically all this is pretty much junk. On the main motors itself, which I've already removed the screws to, you actually have 4 resistors in line. Basically, I will be replacing that with straight wire after desoldering it. So I'm going to go do that now so that I don't have to waste your time on camera, because I'm trying to keep the length of this video short. So basically just remove these 4 resistors and put it with a piece of copper wire just in between it, keeping the same polarity, so the positive would be on this side and the negative would be on that side. I'm going to go do that now. Okay, now my stock wiring has been changed out so that the positive, starting in the standard terminal right here, which is the white wire, which is the only wire actually left in here, goes to the rev switch down here. Then I wired a new positive wire, which goes into the motors, which I have once again removed the resistors from. And then my black, which is negative, just goes straight from the terminal to the actual motors. Here is a finished internal shot. Okay, now here is a firing of the modified Nerf Stryfe with a Raider stock on it. I will be firing off a 25 round clip which has been filled with the Elite Streamlines. So now this is with the standard 1.5 volt AA batteries. You could use Ultrafires or Trustfires or whatever brand you want to get to increase the voltage and improve performance. However, this is just a comparison to my review video for mostly rate of fire and just to see what removing the resistors does. So here we go. And that was the entire magazine. Overall, I really enjoy the Nerf Stryfe. I think it's probably the best flywheel type of blaster that you could get on the market right now because it doesn't have the rotation mech turret limitation of ammo that comes with a barricade or stockade, and it doesn't have the large internal barrel which hinders range that the Raven has. So I think this is probably the most effective flywheel blaster that you could probably get. It seems like it would be very, very good for HVZ once you modify it and remove the locks, because the rate of fire was pretty good, as you could probably tell during the range test. If you don't up the voltage, it takes the motors a little bit longer to rev up, and not only that, but recover in between shots. That's why towards the end the shots were losing range, because I wasn't giving it the time that it needs to recover fully to full speed before firing. However, if you used it with like 3 probably Trustfires or Ultrafires, which have a higher voltage per battery, you could get a lot more out of it, and your rate of fire would not hinder your range as much as with the stock AA's. So overall, very good blaster, high modding potential. So I hope you enjoy this mod guide, and let me know what you think in the description below.